Do you want to communicate effectively with your boss at work? Awesome! Then this video is for you. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you 3 simple tips on how to do so. Number 1, show. Number 2, focus. And number 3, be positive and polite. Do you want to find out more? Then stay tuned for the next minutes and enjoy the conversation. In this video, I'd like to talk with you about how to speak efficiently with your manager at work. Because guess what? Your manager is your number 1 customer at work because he or she decides your development within the company. And you want to make sure that this remains positive. And you can do that with simple yet effective communication. Let's find out how and start right away with point number 1. Show. Have you heard of this? Words may inspire, but only actions drive change. I didn't say it, but Simon Sinek did. In other words, it means that your words, they don't mean anything until you act on them. When speaking to your customer, your manager, this means in return that all your words, they also don't mean anything until you show that you get the job done. That's why whenever you speak with your manager, you want to be sure that you communicate this one message to your manager. No matter what happens, I always got your back. Is that clear? How can you do that? Of course, you deliver high quality work. How can you do that? Again, we push away all those errors. We push away mistakes. We push away delayed deadlines. We push away unclear communication. How you do that? Again, focus your communication on making sure that expectations are clear, that deadlines are clear, and also your contribution to a project is clear since the beginning when you speak with your manager. Now let me summarize. When speaking to your manager, remember that your actions speak way more about your contribution than any of the words, because they don't mean anything if you haven't done the work beforehand. Let's move on to point number 2. Focus and adapt your communication. Because as you're building your brand within the company, the brand towards your manager, and you want to show, I got your back no matter what, you also want to know what is important for your manager. Because if you don't know this, it will be very difficult to adapt your communication approach. How can you find out what is important to your manager? Very simple. You pay attention to the words that your manager is using when speaking either to you, to your colleagues, or other external stakeholders. Because when you pay attention, you can get an idea what's important for my manager and you can react accordingly. Maybe sometimes it might be difficult identifying what's this one important thing. You can just ask your manager in person in a private conversation, how can I help you achieve your mission? What can I do to support you? And you will see magic will happen afterwards, because it means that you are willing to give from your side, and because your manager sees that, he or she is willing to give back to you. Now let me summarize. You focus your communication style to what is the most important point for your manager. Because when you do that, your manager knows that no matter what, you got their back. It's time now for point number 3. Be positive and polite. According to Business News Daily, a positive attitude improves how people see you at work. They are more willing to support you as well and cheer you up. But talking about supporting, isn't this what you also want when you communicate with your manager? You want your manager to support you? Yes, you want that. That's why you remain positive and polite. No matter the situation, always remain positive, polite, and objective. For example, when your manager proposes something that you disagree, you can always start with something positive, and then you put in your proposal that might be in disagreement with your manager. And as long as it remains positive and objective, it will help you in many ways. Just to give you a very simple example, your manager proposes a guideline that you don't agree to. You might say something like, "Thank you very much. I appreciate that you are updating those guidelines. However, it might be better to change those and that aspects." And you will see your manager is more likely to listen to you. Another thing is that you always want to make sure that you keep the overall reputation of your manager intact. What does it mean? Especially when you're in a meeting, you don't say anything that directly confronts or disregards your manager. You want to make sure that to the outside world you show that you support your manager no matter what. And here's a very important thing when speaking to your manager to be positive and polite. Let's say your manager comes to you with a new project proposal and wants you to take care of that. Isn't it amazing? But you might be thinking, "Oh no, I already have so many tasks to do. How can I do that?" It's very simple. You say yes. But you don't only say yes to take care of that project. You also negotiate with your manager about the workload or the other task and how to prioritize each of the tasks. Because you should never say no to a great new opportunity. Because your manager selected you for a reason. And you always want to show that no matter what, I got your back. Now let me summarize. When speaking to your manager, always remain positive and polite. Because when you do that, you can be sure that he supports you no matter what. Now, all in all, let me summarize the 3 main steps to communicate effectively with your boss at work are: number 1, show. Always remember that it's not your words that speak for you. Instead, it is your actions that represent you. Number 2, when you speak to your manager, always focus your communication style because you want to make sure that you talk about those points that are important for your manager. And number 3, be positive and polite because when you do that, you can be sure that your manager supports you as well. Now, it's time for you to put all those 3 points into practice. But before that, leave in the comment section below a comment and tell me what did you like or what you want to hear more of. I look forward to our future conversation. Bye! So then stay tuned for the next minutes and enjoy the conversation. Ah yeah, I need to continue.